You didn't just stop using social media. You quietly stepped away. No announcement. No dramatic goodbye post. No explanation. One day you were there. And the next, you weren't. And people noticed. Some assumed you were being antisocial. Others thought you were missing out. A few even said something about you seemed strange, like you were disconnected from the world everyone else was living in. But here's the part they don't see. How? While millions of people are refreshing their feeds, chasing the next notification, waiting for that tiny burst of validation, something very different is happening inside your brain. Because when you stop scrolling, a part of your mind that most people have completely shut down begins to wake up. And once it does, the entire way you experience life starts to change. People think social media exists to help them stay connected. But former Google design ethicist Tristan Harris explained that the biggest tech platforms were indeed designed to serve users. They were designed to capture them. Every swipe, every notification, every infinite scroll was engineered to keep your attention locked in place. The reason is simple. Your attention is the product. Inside your brain is a reward system controlled by dopamine. It's the same chemical loop involved in gambling and sugar cravings. Social media platforms learned that if they delivered unpredictable rewards, likes, comments, new content, your brain would keep coming back for more. It's the same reason slot machines work. You never know when you'll get a hit, so you keep pulling the lever. Most users never realize they're inside that loop. But some people eventually notice something feels off. And when they step away, something unexpected happens. There's a network in your brain called the default mode network. It activates when you're not consuming information, when you're not scrolling, watching, or reacting. It turns on when you're simply being. When this network activates, three powerful things happen: self-reflection, creativity, and future planning. This is the network that helps you figure out who you are and where your life is going. But constant digital stimulation suppresses this system. When people spend hours inside social media feeds, their brain rarely gets the chance to enter this deeper mode of thinking. That's why so many feel scattered and disconnected from themselves. When someone steps away from the noise, that network slowly turns back on. Thoughts become clearer. Life starts feeling more real. Even when people know social media is fake, their brain still believes it. You might know that vacation photo was staged, but your brain doesn't process it that way. The moment you see someone else's success, a comparison instantly begins. Psychologists call this social comparison theory, and it happens automatically. Your emotional brain has already reacted before logic can explain that the image is curated. That's why people often close social media feeling strangely drained. Their brain has just spent that time quietly measuring their life against thousands of others. But when someone steps outside that environment, the comparisons begin to fade. Your relationship with social media may have started long before you created your first account. According to attachment theory, how you bonded with caregivers as a child shapes how you seek connection as an adult. People who grew up with unpredictable attention often develop what's called anxious attachment. As adults, they may constantly search for reassurance and approval. Studies show these individuals are far more likely to develop compulsive social media habits, using likes and comments as a form of digital reassurance. Others, who learned that depending on people was unreliable, developed avoidant attachment. They feel uncomfortable in spaces where attention is constant. So many of them quietly withdraw from social media. When someone avoids social media, others assume they must be lonely or disconnected. But the reality is often the opposite. People who spend less time performing their life online tend to invest more energy into real interactions. Instead of dozens of shallow digital connections, they build a smaller circle of deeper relationships. They also develop observation skills. When you're not constantly managing your own online image, you have more mental space to notice the world around you. The subtle shifts in a friend's tone, the emotions that aren't being said out loud. While others are busy documenting their lives, they're actually living them. There are two ways people experience life. The first constantly asks, how will this look to other people? Life becomes something to curate for an invisible audience. But when someone steps away, a second awareness takes over. Instead of asking how something looks, they start asking how it feels. The sunset becomes more beautiful when it isn't framed for a story. A moment becomes more meaningful when it isn't interrupted by the need to capture it. Experiences stop being performances. They become real again. This creates a stable sense of identity. Many people build their identity through feedback, likes, comments, reactions. But when someone spends less time in those environments, their identity forms internally. They learn what they value without waiting for approval. They develop opinions not shaped by trends. Over time, this creates a sense of self that doesn't collapse when attention disappears. The strongest identity is the one that exists, even when nobody is watching. Social media promises connection, community, and self-expression. But for many, it turns into comparison, pressure, and performance. That's why some people have quietly stepped away. They realized life becomes more meaningful when it isn't constantly being measured. So if you're someone who doesn't post much, you might not be missing out on anything.